Welcome to the deep dive. We sift through the sources so you don't have to. Today, we're heading south, way south, to the tip of Africa, exploring South African wine and its growing enoutourism scene. It's a really interesting place, technically New World wine, but with, well, almost 4 centuries of history behind it. Real old world roots in some ways.
Absolutely. And our mission today is to sort of decode what they call this incredible mosaic du terroir, this patchwork of different soils and climates all packed together. You really have to understand the geography, the history, the oceans. It all collides to make the wine scene so dynamic.
Yeah, that history is key. It feels like it happened in like 3 acts. Act 1, the very beginning. That goes way back to 1659, Jan van Riebeeck planting the first vines.
But the real quality jump, that was 1688. The French Huguenots arrived,
Ah, yes.
bringing the know-how.
Exactly, the savoir-faire. That French expertise really established places like Franschhoek, the French Corner, almost immediately.
Okay, so Act 2. This is the rise and the fall. Pretty much. The 18th, 19th centuries, that was the golden age. You had Constantia's Vin de Constance, is a legendary sweet wine. I mean, Napoleon loved it, Baudelaire wrote about it. It was genuinely world famous, right up there with Europe's best dessert wines.
Wow. So what happened?
2 things hit hard. Phylloxera, the vine pest, wiped out vineyards. And then the economic fallout led to this big cooperative, the KWV, being formed in 1918.
Right, the KWV. And that really shaped things for a long time, didn't it?
Oh, completely. It was meant to stabilize prices after the crisis, but it ended up creating a monopoly that, well, it prioritized bulk wine, volume over quality. So for decades, there was just stagnation. Why make great wine if you get paid the same for, average stuff? That's the hurdle they had to clear later.
Which brings us nicely to Act 3, the modern era. Things really changed post-1990s, right? End of apartheid, sanctions lifted.
Exactly. South Africa burst back onto the world stage, and it sparked this quality revolution almost overnight.
So investment came in?
Yeah, international money, plus a real focus on their wine of origin system to actually mean something about terroir. And then you get the young guns.
The new generation of winemakers.
That's them. Really focused on authenticity, minimal intervention, and crucially, rediscovering and protecting those amazing old vines that had been, frankly, ignored under the KWV system. They finally got to explore the land's potential.
Okay, so that terroir focus is key. If you just look at the map, South Africa seems like it should be hot, right? Maybe producing really ripe, jammy wines.
You'd think so, but they have a secret weapon, the ocean.
The Atlantic.
Specifically, the Benguela Current. It's this super cold current coming up from the Antarctic waters along the west coast. That's the game changer.
How does that work? How does a cold ocean current affect vineyards maybe, 50 kilometers inland?
Well, it pumps cool air and moisture inland, and it generates this famous wind. They call it the Cape Doctor.
The Cape Doctor. Why that name?
Because it sort of cleanses the vineyards, keeps temperatures down, dries out the grapes after rain, reducing disease risk. It basically puts the brakes on ripening.
So you get this slow, long maturation period.
Precisely. And that's where complexity comes from. You build flavor, you keep that lovely, vibrant acidity, but you avoid that cooked fruit character you can get in really hot places. You get elegance.
Right. And then there's the actual land itself, the mountains.
Cape Winelands, yeah, it's ancient, complex mountain ranges, lots of quartzite, schist, sandstone. This creates all sorts of different altitudes and aspects, and importantly, rain shadows.
Ah, the rain shadow effect. So that's why some areas are much drier than others.
Exactly. You get arid spots like Parel and Swartland, quite close to, say, the much cooler, greener coastal areas like Constantia.
Yeah.
Huge variation in a small space.
And the soils underneath make a difference too, obviously.
Definitely. Let's take Stellenbosch, the heartland for reds. Lots of decomposed granite there.
And granite is good for Cabernet Sauvignon because...
Well, it breaks down into coarse sand and clay. The sand gives good drainage, but the clay holds just enough water, especially in a dry climate, so the vines don't get too stressed. It helps build structure, wines that can age.
Okay. Moisture regulation. Makes sense.
Yeah.
What about schist? You find that elsewhere?
Yeah, in places like Swartland and Hemel and Ard, schist is different. It's like fractured, layered rock. Roots have to dig really deep for water. That struggle, it seems to give the wines this distinct minerality, a real sense of place. Good for Syrah, good for Pinot Noir.
And then there's the famous Table Mountain sandstone in Constantia.
Right. That stuff drains incredibly well. It's quite low in nutrients, which naturally keeps the vine yields down, concentrating the flavor in the grapes. Great for elegance, longevity, especially in their whites, and that iconic Vin de Constance.
Okay, let's talk grapes. We have to start with the national emblem, Pinotage.
The signature grape. born in 1925 at Stellenbosch University. It's a crossing, remember, of Pinot Noir and Cinsault. Cinsault used to be called Hermitage there, hence the name Pinotage.
Now, Pinotage used to have a bit of a reputation problem, didn't it? Those slightly strange aromas, acetone, burnt rubber sometimes.
It definitely did. That was a real challenge. Those off notes, the volatile acidity, came from, well, how it was handled, especially too much heat and rough extraction during winemaking.
So how did they fix it?
It was a combination of things. Picking the grapes at exactly the right ripeness, using cooler fermentation temperatures, and being much, much gentler with extraction. Less time on skins, careful handling, basically treating it more delicately.
And the result is the modern style. Complex, dark fruits, plum, blackberry, maybe some smoke, spice.
Yeah, and with age, you can get lovely earthy tobacco notes. It's versatile, though you might still sometimes catch that funny little banana note in very young, simple styles. It's an ester thing, a reminder of its quirks.
And it's the heart of the Cape blend, right?
That's right. The unique South African red blend has to have at least 30% Pinotage by law to be called a Cape blend.
Okay, so if Pinotage is the flag bearer, Chenin Blanc is maybe the quiet powerhouse, the queen.
Definitely the queen of old vines. It's actually the most planted white grape. Historically, they called it Steen. Back in the KWV days, they planted tons of it because it's vigorous, yields a lot. But the unintended consequence. South Africa now has the world's largest collection of old Chenin Blanc vines. A real treasure.
And they're actively trying to save them with the old Vine Project, the OVP.
Yes, that's crucial. They catalog and certify vineyards over 35 years old. It's about preserving that genetic heritage, because those old vines, they give incredible concentration and complexity.
And Chenin's so versatile, too.
Amazingly so. It can be a base for brilliant classique sparkling wines, make crisp, everyday whites, or these stunning textural complex wines from the old vines. Think quince, honey, almonds, often aged in oak or even concrete eggs.
Beyond the local heroes, the international grapes do well, too. Cabernet Sauvignon.
Stellenbosch is still the benchmark.
Yeah.
Classic Cabernet Territory cassis, graphite, maybe a hint of mint or tobacco, built to last.
And Syrah, or Shiraz, as some call it.
That finds its happy place in slightly warmer, maybe more rustic areas like Swartland or Paarl. It gets that lovely peppery spice, dark fruit, sometimes those savory, earthy, almost gamey notes. Really characterful.
Let's zoom into the regions themselves. Starting at the beginning, Constantia.
The birthplace. And it's all about that cooling Atlantic influence from False Bay. Slow ripening, great acidity retention.
And this is where you get the Fynbos effect in the Sauvignon Blanc.
Exactly. Fynbos is the local indigenous vegetation, this unique scrubland. The aromas from these plants, they subtly infuse the air, the vineyards. It gives the wines this delicate, herbal, almost Garrig character. It's the scent of the Cape.
Sounds lovely and perfect with the local food.
Oh yeah, great with fresh seafood, and it handles the sweet, spicy notes of Cape Malay cooking, like bobotie, beautifully.
Okay, moving inland to Stellenbosch, the
Yeah.
big one.
Yeah, the quality hub, the research center with the university. It's not monolithic, though. Lots of different microclimates. Helderberg is known for finesse. Banghook is cooler, good for Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. But overall, this is where you find really serious, structured Cabernet and Pinotage.
And the classic food pairing in Stellenbosch.
Has to be the braai, the South African barbecue. You need a wine with structure like a good Stellenbosch cab or an older Pinotage to stand up to those rich, smoky grilled flavors.
Next stop, Franschhoek, the Gourmet Valley.
That's the one. You can really feel the French Huguenot history there.
Yeah.
The architecture, the food scene is top-notch. Excellent Casse Classique, good Chenin Cab, Syrah too. But it's very much a food and wine destination.
A place for food lovers, for sure. And you mentioned a key travel tip earlier, the driving situation.
Crucial, yeah. South Africa has a zero-tolerance policy for drinking and driving. Seriously, zero. So the Franschhoek wine tram isn't just a cute tourist thing. It's actually a really practical, safe way to get between wineries there.
Good tip. Okay, what about the cooler, wilder spots?
Head towards the coast, south of Stellenbosch, and you find Hemel en Aarde. Means heaven and earth.
Beautiful name.
And a beautiful place.
Yeah.
One of the coolest wine regions. This is prime territory for elegant Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, really mineral-driven styles.
Okay.
People often compare them to Burgundy because they have that finesse, that acidity.
And the unique tourist experience here is whales?
Yes, whale watching, especially June to November. The southern right whales come into the bays to calve.
Yeah.
So you can literally go wine tasting in the morning and whale watching in the afternoon. It's pretty special.
Amazing. Okay, one more key region, Swartland. The revolution.
Ah, yes, the revolution. This is drier, more rugged country, lots of old bush vines, dry farming, viticultura di siquero, they call it. This is where many of the young guns set up shop.
Focusing on minimal intervention.
Exactly. Authenticity, letting the place speak. You get these fantastic, sometimes quite wild-edged chens and syrahs. The syrah often has distinct black olive and spice notes. Brilliant if you want to get off the beaten track and find artisan producers doing exciting things.
Sounds great. So if someone's planning a trip, when's the best time to go?
Depends what you want. Harvest time, the Vindima, is February, March. It's busy, exciting. You see everything happening.
But maybe a bit hectic.
Could be. For more peace and maybe special access like barrel tastings, try autumn, April, May. The weather's usually lovely. Or spring, September, October, is gorgeous when the fynbos flowers are out.
And just to hammer it home, don't drink and drive.
Please don't. Use drivers, book tours, use the wine tram in Franschhoek. It's just not worth the risk.
Okay, let's highlight a few iconic winery experiences people should look out for based on the sources.
Sure. First up, maybe Fairview and Parle. They do great wine and cheese pairings, and they have that famous goat tower. It's fun and delicious.
Good start. What else?
Speer in Stellenbosch. You can have a lovely gourmet picnic there, but they also have the Eagle Encounters Raptor Rehabilitation Center. Good mix of pleasure and conservation.
For the history lovers.
Got to be Klein Constantia, tasting the Vin de Constance there. You're literally tasting history. It's a must-do.
Another historical option.
Vergelegen. It's a stunning 300-year-old estate. Take the tour, wander the amazing camellia gardens. It's just beautiful, architecturally and horticulturally.
And one more, maybe focused on food.
Boschendal in Franschhoek. Really strong farm-to-table ethos. They do interactive cooking classes, too, alongside the wine tasting. Makes that food connection very real.
Perfect. So just a quick recap on those key terms for you listening. Fynbos, that unique Cape vegetation influencing the aromas.
Cap Classique, the South African sparkling wine made using the traditional champagne method.
And the Braai, the essential South African barbecue, calling for a bold red wine.
So wrapping up, South Africa really offers this incredible range. You get powerful, structured reds from places like Stellenbosch, thanks to those granite soils.
But you also get super elegant, mineral, cool climate whites and pinots from coastal spots like Hemelinard, thanks to the ocean and soils like schist. It truly covers the spectrum.
That ability to do both power and elegance, that's really the story of the modern South African wine scene. Its resilience and diversity.
So a final thought for you to ponder. What aspect of South African wine growing strikes you as more fascinating? Is it the sheer power of nature that Cape Doctor wined, dictating the climate, cooling things down, concentrating flavors?
Or is it the human element? That philosophical drive behind something like the Old Vine Project, the conscious effort to preserve those 35-plus-year-old vines, to bottle that unique character that only time and careful stewardship can provide. Nature versus nurture, in a way.
It's that tension, isn't it, between the perfect natural conditions and the human determination to capture something special from it. Either way, there's a lot more to explore. So go on, continue your own deep dive into South African wine. Cheers.